Okay, so here we are in segment 2. We're going to create the sky. Before we create the sky, let's save. So if we come right up here to File, we can hit Save. And we haven't saved yet, so it's basically going to tell us that we need to name it something so we can save it. And then you'll have to determine where you want to save your files at. I have just a folder where they go. Excuse me. So if we click here, I'm going to hit backspace, and I'm going to hit Snow Toot 3 is what I'm going to name it. You name it whatever you want, and make sure you put it in a folder or file somewhere where you'll remember it, okay? And then we're just going to hit Save Blender File. I'm not going to show that step again. You can hit Control S to save, or you can just go to File and hit Save again. A tip on saving: save frequently. Save anytime you've done a repetitive process that may have taken a long time. Make sure you save. If you save frequently, you won't lose your work. Blender can crash, your power can go out, all kinds of things can happen, and you can lose a lot of work if you don't save along the way. So make sure you save pretty regularly. All right, so let's move on. Now we're going to move on to the sky. As we can see right now in the background, the sky is just this gray color, and that's called the world. Now we can come over here to our control panel, hit this globe looking one, and we get the controls for the world. Excuse me. We can see that right now we have a color that's gray. That's this gray color, and its strength. We don't have much options here. So if we come up here in our shader editor and change it from the object shader editor, if we click it, to the world shader editor, we'll see we don't see anything. And this is what happens sometimes in Blender. We actually just have to scroll out till we see the nodes we want, and then I can move around in here by pushing my middle mouse button down and then moving my mouse around. Okay, so we can see that we have basically the same controls here as we have over here. So the world will always be here for us, and we can control things here, or we can go into a shader editor, or the world shader editor. All right, you're always going to need this world output in order to basically see the world, but it's not important. So I'm going to move all of this over so we can just see this background node. Now I can change the color of the world if we want. You can't really see it here because this color picker, if I click it, you'll see we do get a color picker. It's just because this box, this color is the same exact color as the node, so it's a little hard to see. You'll see it's there. All right, but we don't need to pick a color or anything. So what we're going to do first is add some clouds. So what that looks like is we have to add a texture for the clouds first. So Shift-A, texture. We're going to add a noise texture. I'm going to put this over here. In between these two nodes, we need Shift-A to add a converter color ramp. And remember, we may not have enough space here, so I'm going to scroll wheel out. And then, oh, my scroll wheel is so sensitive. I'm move it over here. And then that'll give us our space. So I'm going to go color to factor in this color ramp, and then out of the color ramp into the color of the background. Now, as soon as I do that, you see that we get this black and white or kind of gray texture here. And that's because we have basically black and white we're kind of mixing together. If we left click and hold onto this black slider, drag it towards the middle somewhere, we'll see that more of the black shows up. Now, we want that color to be blue instead, like a sky would be. So if I come down here to the bottom, this big black bar, with that slider selected, if I left click it, it becomes the color picker. Now, I haven't really explained color pickers. They're common. They're basically the same in most software nowadays. This right-hand slider is our value slider. So if I pick this up, say midway, then I'll be able to see all the colors. And then if I left click and hold on this middle button here, bring this somewhere up into the blue colors like a sky would be, then I get a sky blue color. Okay, so now this slider, this color ramp, is controlling the blue and the white. If I left click on the white and move that closer to the blue, we'll see we get more contrast between the two. Now the clouds themselves will be controlled by our noise texture. So if I come over here to the scale, hover over it, left click, move my mouse, I can make the scale of the clouds go down just a little bit. I'm in the 7.7 range. The next thing we want to do is hit detail, left click and hold over the number 2, and then take it all the way up to 16. It'll stop at 16. And as you see, our clouds look a little better. Now we can get a little more control on our clouds by adjusting these sliders. If I hit this left one, left click and hold, move it towards the blue, you'll see that the clouds become more powerful. If I move them away from the blue, they'll kind of fade out. So you decide where you want them. I'm going to probably put them somewhere right here. Okay, cool. So now we have clouds in our sky, and what we want next is we want a gradient. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but when you look along the horizon line, it's always lighter along the horizon, and then it kind of fades up into the blue or whatever color it is. So that gradient is what we're after. So let's add one. Okay, I'm going to scroll out over here in our shader editor. I'm going to grab onto my background shader, move it over, because I'm going to need to mix some stuff in here. So let's add the mix part first. So Shift A, you guessed it, it's a color mix RGB. And if I just drop it right on this line, you'll see that it installs it for me, which is pretty handy. And then now we see our scene kind of washes out. And the reason it's washed out is because we're essentially mixing what we had before with this color white, which is in slot 2. So we're going to put the gradient in that slot. So let's give ourselves room down here. So Shift A, we're going to add a texture. We're going to add a gradient texture. And then we're going to need another color ramp. So Shift A, converter, color ramp. We're going to drop that right there. We're going to color out of the gradient texture. Get in here so you can see it. Color to the factor on the color ramp. And then we're going to click up here, color to color 2. Okay, now if we look over here on our scene, we see that we do in fact have a gradient. It's darker over here, the darker blue, much lighter over here, and but it's going the wrong way. It's vertical instead of horizontal. So that means we have to change something about that, and there's a pretty easy way to do it. So I'm going to back out here, move over here, and we're going to select this gradient texture. Now is a good time to talk about add-ons. Add-ons are basically features of Blender that come with Blender when you download it, but they're just not activated or turned on. So we need one of those right now, so let's learn how to do that. I'm going to come right up here to Edit. We're going to go to Preferences. We're going to go to Add-ons. And then in this search bar with the little magnifying glass, if I left click, we're going to hit N-O-D-E, and we're going to spell the word node. And then you see right here, we get this one called Node Wrangler. Now in mine, there's already a checkbox. Yours, there may not be. So make sure there's a checkbox by just left clicking it. And then once you do, this add-on is so cool that I just leave it on all the time. And the way you do that is you come down here to where it says Save Preferences, and you can just click Save Preferences. Okay. All right, so that works out pretty good. Let's just hit left click to get rid of that. Okay, now what do we do? If I left click this gradient texture so it's selected, and then we hit Control T, just with that shortcut key, we now have these two cool nodes. This texture coordinate one, we're not worried about it. This is a generated texture. This will come up later in other projects, and this is important. But it's this one right here, this mapping node, that we really want. So the first thing that we want to change is right here under rotation on the Y, I want to hover over the number, left click. We're going to have to hit backspace, and then I want to hit -90, and then I have to hit enter to make it happen. Okay, we can't really see a whole lot's going on. Next thing we want to change is on location on the X. I'm going to click it, and we're going to hit backspace, and I want to hit 0.08, and I have to, of course, push enter to make it happen. Okay, so now we can kind of see a little bit lighter at the bottom and darker at the top. So our gradient is going the right way, so that's pretty cool. And then we can come up here to this color ramp that it's connected to, and we can start messing around. If I move this white slider over, we'll see that it really fades out pretty good. It's very light down here and then darker up here. One thing I'd like to point out is if we go too far over here, you'll see that we get this very harsh line. Well, we don't want that at all. So just go ahead and back that off till it looks like you want it to, but without that line. Somewhere around here, to me, looks pretty good. I'll probably leave it right there. Okay, and its position is 0.373, if that matters to you, but just somewhere not quite in the middle, a little over halfway. Okay, so now what we want to do is I want to get these clouds to kind of fade out as well. A lot of times in order to give the illusion of distance, we want this area to be faded out so it looks like these clouds in the distance are disappearing. All right, so we're going to zoom out, and then remember, if I hit all, or for A for all, I select all the nodes. I want to hit Alt A so I don't have any nodes selected. And then we're going to hit Circle Select, which is a C on the keyboard. And then with this, I can scroll wheel to make it bigger. And then if I left click and hold, I can just paint over all of these. Okay. I have to right click to end that. Now I'm going to hit Alt A to deselect all those just to show you another way that's new in the Blender 2.8 thing. I can hover over here like I can in a lot of software and simply left click and drag a box and select those. Now I accidentally selected that one up there, Alt A. I just got used to it in previous versions of using the C, so I like C select. I can just brush across there. Some people call that paint select. It's the C key because I think it's actually called circle select, but either one is acceptable. So I've selected all of these nodes right here, these 4 nodes at the bottom. And so what I want to do is Shift D to duplicate them and bring them right up on top of these others. Now let's get zoomed in here a little bit more. Okay, so we basically just duplicated these, dragged them up here, and now we want to hook this color ramp's color into the factor of this mix RGB node. So we have our clouds here, our first gradient texture going into color 2. We duplicated the gradient texture, added it to the top, and now we're adding it in as the factor. So we didn't really see much happen here because we have to change a few things around. What we want to do is we want to come back up here to this new mapping node where it was -90. We want to click it, backspace, and we just want to put 90, enter. So just regular 90. Okay, and right up here where we had 0.08, we're going to left click it, we're going to backspace, and we're going to put 0.5, and we have to hit enter for it to accept it. Now, it looks pretty weird, and it didn't do at all what we wanted it to do. So what we have to do is, remember, if I push my middle mouse button down right in here somewhere, I can just drag this whole thing over. We want to go to the color ramp for this top set, and we actually want to switch these 2 black and white ones around. So as soon as I separate those 2, you see we start getting a little bit of a difference here. Now, as I look at it, the clouds are disappearing on the horizon. Okay? And so now we can mess around with that. If I move this all the way to the left, we get really no gradient and no disappearance of the clouds on the horizon. As I move this closer, we get a little more contrast. I want to be something like that. Okay? We don't want to get too close again because look, we get this really harsh line. So let's just move this till it looks nice. Again, if we move it too far, we'll get rid of our the whole thing. We'll still have a gradient kind of, but I want to move it in somewhere here where right along the horizon, the clouds actually disappear. Okay, so that looks pretty darn good. Now, one last thing that I want to do is we want to come down to the very bottom one, the one that started the gradient in the first place, on the color ramp. If we hit the left click on the white, then click its color picker, then we can move this into the more peachy pink kind of zone, like almost like it's sunset. As you can see, that looks pretty good. I'm going to call that good. You pick whatever color you want. I wouldn't go too extreme on this, otherwise it starts to look a little strange. But okay, so that's all there is to this section of creating a procedural sky in Blender. And by the way, I'm going to break camera by pushing my middle mouse button down. And as we look around, it changed the whole sky. Down below is pink, and up above has clouds. Pretty much everywhere I look, if I back out, there's clouds everywhere. So we actually created the world and made kind of a sunset color everywhere. Okay, and you remember, if we hit 0 on the numpad, we'll go back in. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. I'm going to leave it there. I'll see you on the next one.